Today, we are attempting to play Genshin without ever leaving the road. The goal of this challenge is simple, to run across the entire map of Teyvat without ever leaving the road. Or, as I like to call it, the not touching grass challenge. We will be starting at the beginning point of the game, making our way through the regions of Mondstadt, Liyue, and Sumeru to finally arrive at our destination, the highest point of the map in Fontaine. And to make things even spicier, this is on a brand new account, so all I've completed so far is the Archon quest.
Come closer. Can you smell that?
Far enough that I can venture outside of Mondstadt, also meaning that we have no statues of the Seven Unlocked aside from the first one we come across. Good thing I have a perfectly healthy addiction to this game, and definitely don't know where all the roads are without even needing to look at the map. The rules are as follows: stay on the road, this is a traveller only run, no teleport waypoints allowed, and no interiors. Food is allowed, but only with whatever items we can find on the road. There are also many side roads in the game that don't actually appear on the map, but these also count. Like, just look at this. What even is this? You've got a sign here, slap bang, in the middle of nowhere. Look at where this sign is on the map. Oh, and do you want to know where the road leads to? It doesn't. It literally just stops. Anyway, road rage aside,
Are you coming first?
essentially, if it looks like a road, smells like a road, and feels like one, it's allowed. And this is all so we can see what Genshin Impact has to offer without ever leaving the road. Also, quick side note, I did do some preliminary runs just to test this challenge out and see what would and wouldn't work, and we definitely came across a few problems that could hinder our progress, so just know that in some areas we may have had to take a few creative liberties. And now that that's out of the way, let's get on with the challenge. And here we are, where it all began. Jocelyn getting a little stretch in there. She definitely knows what's going down. If we can just get a starting line up here. And we are off. Well, that's the first fox murder of the day, and it certainly won't be the last. Just gonna chop down some wood that I'm literally never gonna use. Why did I do this? God damn. It's been a while since I've been back here. Oh, the memories. A reminder of the days when we would play physical, official, and jangling with not a care in the world. Well, that was nice. Let's get back to it. I think we're gonna need to keep a counter, honestly. So, 3 seconds into this challenge and we've already hit a bit of a wall. Well, that's it. Run's over. Time to go home, guys. Nah, I'm just kidding. But we will have to find an alternative. And if you look on the map, there is a path on it. So, I say we just follow around like it's an actual path. I mean, come on guys, that's definitely a path. If our Lord and Saviour, Dawei himself, says it's a path, then it's a path. Besides, we can just blame Klee for this probably. And we're back on track. Windblade! was that good? Did I sound just like Lamine? But do we have much room in our inventory for this mushroom? Get it? I'll just see myself out now. This chest continues to mock me. It's just a bit too far off the path that I cannot get it. Well, at least I can get this one.
A reward on the road.
Yes. And there it is. Our home away from home. Okay, so if I remember correctly, Lumine's ability should also be able to group Timmy's pigeons up. We've arrived in Mondstadt for our first pit stop.
There's the blacksmith.
Oh my god, no way! Thank you so much, Paimon. Okay, so quick rundown. For each region's major city, we'll be making pit stops at them to gather any resources we possibly can, to ensure that there is little to no dying. Because as far as I'm aware, if you die, then you get teleported back to the closest waypoint, so we definitely don't want that. And just remember guys, this challenge is purely for the funsies, so we can always change the rules as we go along. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm just going through all the NPCs that the wiki lists off that give rewards in their dialogue branches. I get why you're called Vile now. You don't want to share anything with me. Okay, I'm sorry.
A reward on the road.
Oh, you are joking me. It's right there.
A reward on the road.
And after scouring the wiki for the foods that would be most useful for us on our journey, and thanking Sarah for not giving me any recipes, I found them. The holy grail of this run, stamina food. Or to be more precise, we 100% want to go for chop suey and minty meat rolls, both of which we can obtain in Liyue. And so we've got Lumine to level 20 and leveled up the Traveller's Handy Sword as well. So at this point you might be asking yourself, why the Traveller's Handy Sword? That is the most stupid decision I've ever heard. But just hear me out. Since we're gonna get to a point anyway where we are going to do barely any damage to the enemies as we get further along, I am just going to go full HP and defense stats. We are just on pure survival mode. And no, I was not going anywhere near Dragonspine on this challenge run. After checking out the interactive map, I didn't consider it worth enough to travel out of my way to that area. And I also didn't fancy getting an ass whooping by one of those stinky Mitterchels. Okay, let's go. No. What? I might need it. I don't know for sure, but I think this guy is stealing fake water and selling it as holy water. What in the... Can someone come get their kid? He's phasing through the wall again. And through me, apparently.
Windblade.
Just pretend you didn't see that. I did come across this hilly chol camp that had a path leading up and around it, so I allowed that. Excuse me, sir. Do I look like a bullfighter to you? What are you charging me for? Oh, nice, an achievement. Of course. Oh, definitely not stealing your food.
I'll keep this close.
Yeah, I'll keep this close too, Lumine. It's all I've got at the moment. Frick you, Greg. You're trying to rob me. Nuh-uh. Okay, so, once again, this is where we refer to the interactive map for guidance. Because technically, there is a joined up path connecting Mondstadt and Liyue. And I mean, this is the main land trade route between them, so I think it only makes sense that we allow this. And our total chest count for Mondstadt comes out to 7. And now we head off on our next stretch for Liyue. Get a load of this guy. And boop. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. I was too immersed in this game's atmosphere. Oh, okay. Let's continue the journey.
A reward on the road.
Aw, he looks so peaceful. And yes, as you can see here, I did end up doing my first oopsie of this run, because I don't think we can count this as part of the road. While it does have a path leading up to it, I think we have to count it as an interior, so... Okay, kind of rude. Oh god, it's our first Sonic. Ah, easy. That was not easy. That was in fact actually very hard. And to just get an idea of where we currently are, here is the interactive map overlay.
Is this an answer from this world?
I don't know, you tell me. Yeah, that definitely looks like I can get over there. I'll definitely complete this quest for you. Never. We also managed to get an adventure and lucky dog 2-piece set, even a blue. I think this is our first Sealy. Oh, thanks little guy. I thought for a second I might actually have a quest that I can do, but then I realised this one also involves having to go into the actual inn, so I can't complete that either. Lumine, why are you wet? Oh yeah. Lumine is just infinitely wet now apparently. Is this an answer from this world? Come on, just one more step. Easy.
I'll keep this close.
And another chest for the taken. I allowed this one because it was close enough to the road. Yeah, I'm not doing that. And our first quest that we actually might be able to do. This place is basically ruins, but I think there's enough evidence of paths at one point in time that we can allow this. Yeah, oh boy, this ruin guard took forever. And we've not even reached the city yet, so you can imagine how much harder these enemies are gonna get. And I only really managed to beat this ruin guard because I cheesed the hell out of this fight by standing behind the pillars so I didn't get hit. And after that very intense fight, I just went around collecting all the tablets for the quest. Managed to pick a few chests up here and there as well. That abyss mage area though almost killed me. No, I did this quest for nothing. Born to place rocks, forced to blow air at enemies. I think we're gonna be stuck with Animo for quite a while. We also managed to get the best recipe in the entire game, chop suey. And so, through perilous trails and winding paths full of scary monsters, little shells and slimes, we made our way through the rock formation to find ourselves at the great trading city of Liyue. It was only after doing this as well that I realised I also did an oopsie here, because technically this shop is also inside a building. But I can make up for that by just not using the recipes, so that should be all good. While in the city, I tried to get my hands on as much as I possibly could. I also bought out the artifact shop. Just me channeling my inner Susan here. I mean, we are essentially tourists. We're going on a full tour of Teyvat. I also picked up the Dark Iron Sword, but I'm not sure I'll even be using it at all this entire run. Hey, she said the chop suey line. We also managed to get our other goal, the minty meat rolls. So we now have the ultimate stamina food combination. Also talked to my bestie Catherine, thank god she's along the path as well. And so I also got the rank rewards. I picked up the primo gems from the compensation as well, but I will take that off the final amount that we come to at the end of this run. I used the interactive map to make sure I got every chest I could, and 1 chest, and a 2 chest.
Hey there. Don't be shy. Come inside.
I'd really rather not, thank you. Also, aren't you in a relationship with Timaeus? What would he think? No. And of course, I had to make some chop suey while we were here. The plan from here is as follows. Explore the regions north of Liyue. This includes mostly the Juyun Casts and Qingyun Peak areas for extra chests and loot until basically no longer physically possible, aka we run out of road. As you can see at this point, the path does indeed just stop. There are a few smaller paths and roads that we should also be able to explore though. After this, we make our way through the mountain to the ruins and the pass to more or less gather what we can from there as well. We can only make it so far, however, until we have to turn back and go through the other side to head towards the chasm. There aren't any other connecting paths to Sumeru, and I emphasize connected here as there are many winding roads through Lumberjack Valley. However, none of them actually physically connect to Sumeru itself, which correct me if I'm wrong, but it would seem according to in-game lore, most of the trading between all the nations anyway seems to occur through sea and water trade routes rather than land. But then this doesn't explain Lagoth's existence. Why does he appear up here on the map? Is this intentional or simply a red herring? Are there trade routes that go through the valley here? If so, surely they can't be very common. Perhaps we will never truly know. Having said all this, I think the best way going forward is to go through the path we know did at least at one point in time connect before it just collapsed, and that of course being through the chasm. First order of business though, exploring the winding roads of northern Liyue. And I'm now running away. After my pit stop at the city, I focused my efforts on collecting loot from the plains area first before making my way through to the peaks. I spent so much time trying to kill this giant hilichurl guy and I couldn't even get the chest. They were mostly your bottom of the barrel hilichurls. The giant hilichurl guys aren't too bad either, their most annoying tactic being wasting your time. The only real problems I faced were those darn abyss mages. When your only member of the party is Animo, you're gonna run into a bit of a problem. That is, their shield. And the worst part of it, if I didn't kill these guys fast enough, well, yeah, you get the idea. It was a pain. Oh, hold that thought for a sec, we've got our third oopsie of the run. The bane of my existence in this challenge. And because I managed to knock this guy right over to the grass, I had to let him regain his shield, and then it took me ages to destroy it again. Was it worth my sanity? No, not really. Big brain move here if I do say so myself. Just a bit closer. Ah, there we go. Next area on the agenda, the peaks. Oh no, hold on a sec, just gotta do a quick montage of me trying to beat these hilichurls. Yeah, this took forever. I had to keep luring this big guy back into the water just so I could swell hydro to defeat him. I felt like I was in a bullpen. Honestly, I'm just gonna make hilichurl huts an exception to the rule, just so the challenge doesn't become too frustrating. Okay, let's go. And here we headed off along the river and toward the peaks. And there really wasn't much I actually could do. I thought there would be more, but I guess it does make sense that there's not really much in the way of paths and roads, because it's basically all mountains. And once again, I got to a hilichurl camp and defeated all the hilichurls, only to realize that I can't even get the chest because I can't climb up those damn towers. Whew. So I only ended up getting a single chest from that diversion, and now I have to make it all the way back to the city. Hi guys, it's me. Yeah, I know, hero of Liyue here. Well, I mean, maybe not in this timeline, but I am. Anyone else getting big clown vibes from this OST, by the way? No, just me? It was at this point that I decided to consult the wiki once again to borrow as many artifacts as I could from the NPCs. I will literally take anything at this point. And thanks to our little diversion, we managed to get a lot of mora from the sigil shop. Oh my god, no way! Is that you, Jean? You're looking a bit different here.
Cheap and tasty chop suey.
I don't know for sure, but I think she's got some really cheap and tasty chop suey. Also, these are how my artifacts are looking right now. This is fine. And our next stop was this region of Liyue, right here. Yep, right there. As you can see, I already pinpointed specific areas for chests here, here, and here. There wasn't too much to do here though, thanks to this huge body of water right in my way where the road's meant to go, so this is just the part I stuck to. The treasure hoarders were still fairly easy to deal with, but I definitely noticed the increasing difficulty on this side of Liyue. And you can see as well, I had constant food buffs on. Yeah, and this, this may be where I got just a bit too arrogant, thinking that I could defeat this guy. Oh, why did I do that? Okay, come on, we can do this. If I can just manage my food properly, this should be fine. Okay, everything's fine. And we're full. Yeah, okay, we may be done here.
Maybe
An arrow? Are you kidding me? And I mean, I came so close. It was just that damn shield. I mean, just look at this guy's health. What is the meaning to life? Is it just to suffer? To let the gacha gods decide who wins and who loses? I say no! We live and fight another day! So yeah, anyway, I decided to head toward the chasm. Oh, rain is actually very good. Just what we can use actually for Animo Traveler. Well, never mind. It immediately stopped raining as soon as I got here. When Lamine's ult actually works, it's really fun to watch. You good down there? You need some help? Here, let me help. Oh my. Yeah, I'm not dealing with that. Definitely not after recent events. Boo. Any enemy with a shield in this run is just such a struggle. I ended up taking ages just to kill this one guy. Oh my god, finally. I managed to get a genius kill on this guy though. No, where's Clitolfo? I was hoping to meet my best buddy Clitolfo here. Okay, I'll stop saying his name now. Oh, nice. AR8. Going into the chasm, I definitely noticed a big difference in terms of enemy difficulty. You see, kids, I'm level 20, and the enemies at this world level can go up to level 39. And unless by some miracle I could get a high enough rank to level up my Lumine, well, things would only continue to get harder from here. As we entered regions filled with enemies with even higher HP and attacks than the common rabble hilichurl or hoarder. So yeah, I might die. A lot. An actual time trial challenge that we can do? That we can complete? This might be the only time we can actually do this. And just another oopsie. I don't know what made me think when doing this that getting a chest from inside a building would actually count, so we'll just ignore that. I managed to use this hydro pot thing to kill all the small hilichurls. This big guy took so long again. And we've finally hit this big roadblock. As you can see, there is no physical way through road to get to Sumeru, as I had hoped Lumberjack Valley could potentially do, but alas. So we'll just have to take the liberty that at some point in time this was used to get to Sumeru before the chasm, well, stopped chasming. And the final chest count for Liyue is 40. Liyue was certainly an experience, but I mean, come on, how bad can the next region be? If Mondstadt was the tutorial and Liyue the mini-boss, then Sumeru is, well, maybe I should just show you. Let's get into it. Oh, I really thought for a second we were about to get screwed over. Thank you, Sumeru. Yeah, somehow I don't think I'm getting Dendro. Ah yes, Sumeru City. Definitely super dangerous, as you can see. Ah! Catherine! Oh, so scary. And now the scariest thing here in this city is Sinnoh's jokes. Oh, that was a good one. Guys, I'm gonna give it to you straight, I do not think we're getting to AR10. Now, Sumeru City has a lot to offer. All the amenities you could possibly need. A Catherine, a blacksmith that you can't use. Look, they even have a doctor's here. And a chest in the pond right in front of it for some reason. Why do you mock me? They also have our best boy Lambad here. So I decided to take a rest stop and do what I do best. Stealing. Begging? Man, I'm really not good at this. This is not my forte. Call me Fontainian. Forcing the NPCs to give up all their goods to me in return for nothing. Yes, that's the one. So once again, we set off on our journey with a destination in mind. A big, sandy, expansive destination, but a destination nonetheless. Full of enemies that could eat you in a heartbeat if you let them. Quick disclaimer, I didn't explore the northern part of the jungle. I most probably should have, but the map of Genshin is just so big that I wanted to focus mainly on getting through the jungle alive. Anyway, I headed south, ignoring Vimara village, since it really didn't have anything to offer. The plan was to first head to Port Ormos, before making my way back up, retracing my steps a bit before heading to Caravan Rabat. The reason being, this guy right here, he gives out a free Harbinger of Dawn. At this point, I think Sealies were invented just to troll me. Ah yes, another highly dangerous place. Well, I mean, there are 2 mushrooms hanging out right outside. Very scary. What? 1 more? Oh my god, now even the chests are trolling me. And don't worry here, this is the land route to Port Ormos. Just for some reason, there isn't any indication on the ground here, even though this must be a fairly busy thoroughfare. But moving on, as you can see, it is considered a road by the official Genshin interactive map, so all is good. Oh boy, nope, I am not going anywhere near the Withering. If you could just let me through please, kind sir, that would be great. Thank you. I bought all the recipes at Port Ormos that I could. Yeah, so, as it turns out, this guy doesn't even give the weapon away until you complete a certain part of the Archon quest, so that's great. And now we carry on toward Caravan Rabat. These are just mushrooms, by the way, and they took forever to defeat. Once again, I think it definitely did not help that I'm Animo, and I couldn't swap any other elements besides Hydro here, and, well, these guys were Hydro. Oh my god. Yep, I hate you. I just hate you. And just keep in mind now that these are Sumeru's equivalent to like low-level enemies. And now imagine how difficult the Eremites are gonna be. No, not these ones. Yeah, these ones. Oh, am I interrupting something here? I think you guys have got someone spying on you. Well, I guess this is my loot now. Here we are, Caravan Rabat. And you know the drill by now. I don't gotta explain. Gonna extort the NPCs for all they've got. I even got a purple food. Damn, I could really go for some tandoori right now. What? Oh man, I know it was too good to be true. Before heading into the desert for good, I decided to do one last bit of exploration. Here, as you can see, I faced my first Eremite mini-boss. Just look at the physical damage I am doing. Oh boy, the desert is gonna be fun. Bro even turned into the desert himself. I even managed to get a few more chests and loot up my sleeve. Does that even make sense in this context? Because doesn't that phrase imply that it would have been up my sleeve already? I don't know what I'm saying. I think this run is making my brain melt. And after that little detour, I left the jungle and set foot in the desert.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Oh, the desert. Everyone's love-hate relationship in this game. The desert is scary. Everyone is out to get you here. These guys over there, Steve here as well. Even these cute little bison guys. Half my desert experience could be summed up like this. Oh my god, help, 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 help. Can you just come down like a tiny bit, please? No? Okay. And I got greeted by the worst combination of treasure hoarders. You heard that right. Even the treasure hoarders here almost killed me. Susan time! Obligatory food? I wonder. If only I had Dendro, I could do this quest. Man, that really sucks. Oh, how cute. Oh, your friend ran away. Montage time. What is going on here? Yeah, no thanks. Okay, so this one, I hadn't even realized on my own account until I researched it that the hole here doesn't even appear until you trigger the jet quest. So until you actually do it, it is just a road, which makes this a whole lot easier. See, why are these guys after me? I don't want to hurt you. Please. Though I did figure out later on, the strat for dodging these guys is you just run circles around them and they can't keep up, and then they end up getting their heads stuck in the sand. It's adorable. That did actually no damage to them. So if you thought some of those fights from previous areas were long, I couldn't even hit them half the time because they kept getting too far away from the road, so I'd have to wait only to do puny, pathetic damage to them. But I finally managed it after a lot of suffering. Heh, you're my friend now. See this? This right here is the reason why I was inspired to do this run in the first place. To place myself on ground level, literally. It's almost allowed me to appreciate the game more, just as I did when I first started playing. It's brought me back to that beginning where you feel like you're in a world of wonder and fantasy. Things that would go unnoticed in a normal game daily login. Oh, everyone is here. It's almost like nothing happened. This side of the desert posed a new problem. I would keep getting constantly lost, having to make sure, am I on the right track? Because half the time I couldn't even tell where the path was. And the road was already unclear enough in the normal desert, and now having to deal with a sandstorm? My first plan of action was actually to explore this area right here, and head around this way, avoiding most of the storm altogether, until eventually joining back up at the intersection of the roads, and then making my way to the next desert area. And it started off well enough, but soon began to go quite a bit downhill. I managed to defeat an eremite group. Granted, they were low level grunts and there were no mini bosses this time, but I think this ended up making me a bit too arrogant again, since I then started charging headfirst into a gang of fatui. Yeah, just a bit more difficult. Not like they have annoying shields or abilities or anything. Needless to say, I lost that battle, but I had managed to snag the TP that was luckily right next to them, so I made my way further in, running straight past this big guy, and into yet another fatui group. Do you see the pattern here? Yeah, you guessed it, I died. A few embarrassing deaths later, I decided to change up my course, hoping to at least gather up a bit more loot. I'm not even attempting that one. Tumbleweed, this is officially the Wild West now. If you ain't giving me a chest, I'm literally just going to ignore you. I seem to have lost the path. Oh, never mind, found it. Oh great, now I've got a bison and two big super buff guys after me. Oh no. We are officially in Weenut territory. Hey, don't look at me like that. I really thought I could do that one. I still think I could have. It was just a very severe lapse in judgment on my part. Like, this guy stun-locked me. How is that fair? You are kidding me. Okay, and we've made it out of the sandstorm. Let's go. Nope, not today, sir. There will be no more dying on my part for at least another minute. And who said Genshin isn't a competitive game? That was a pro gamer dodge right there. Well, what is there to say about this portion of the run, really? The solitary nature of this area certainly reflected in the challenge itself, since there really weren't a lot of things I could do without leaving the road. I at least managed to get a TP though before my inevitable path to doom and destruction. Just a quick update on the artifacts. So here is where I should mention the other roadblock I came across. The conclusion I ultimately came to, just as with the chasm, was that basically we allow this by applying the logic to the rule that as long as once we finish gliding, we land on the path, it's still within the boundaries of the run. So there you have it. Let me just make my way past this big frozen nut. Now look at this train wreck of a fight. Perfectly doable, yet I still managed to somehow lose in literally the worst way possible. Look at that. Not even any food buffs on. What was I on right here? Though I honestly could have won were it not for, again, this stupid abyss mage. Of course it's an abyss mage. Bro got stuck on the roof of his hut, and the most embarrassing part of it all, as I went to try and windblade him, I died. To burning. Yes, thank you, Genshin. Way to add insult to injury. We just won't talk about that. Moving onward, we finally made our way to this big tree thing. Yeah, the road kind of just stops here, but we're just gonna count the path that goes through the tree, since I can only assume it's meant to be a path anyway. And we're gonna be seeing that issue a lot in Fontaine. This game is so pretty. Damn! Our second time trial challenge? Hoyoverse, you are really spoiling us. I have officially made it through the desert, and this is only after a few more deaths than I care to admit. And the final sumeru chest count comes out to 12. Paimon, what are you waving at? The waterfall? It can't wave back, you know. Fontaine, the region of water, aka my worst nightmare for this run. Good thing we set up the road rules early on, because just look at this place. Half of it is water, because, well, multiple floods, I can only assume. The region is physically impossible to even reach by land, so I had to use the boat to even get there. I did attempt to fly across, but with my very limited stamina, that was also not possible. Anyway, let us continue. Baguette. That is so funny. Yeah, and it's the same situation with the elevator as well. It's impossible to get to the Aquabus road any other way than through the elevator. Guys, no way! A statue? Too bad at this point I'm just sticking with Animo, because Bubble Beam Lumine is not it, especially not in the land of Hydra itself. And now we head for the city. I'm not gonna make you guys watch this whole thing, so let me just teleport us in a sec. There we go. The city is highly dangerous. Where? Where's the danger? My first 4-star artifact, and it only took 4 regions to get it. Such a long, treacherous journey just for this. My precious. And we've only just reached AR9, so I do not think we're reaching that AR10 goal. And of course I had to buy out all the food recipes. I cooked a baguette, opened some more chests, got those rank rewards, and headed out on the final stretch of my journey. Fontaine was by far the trickiest of the regions. I basically had to use my own judgment and think, well, there is evidence of a path, only now there is a lot more water. After arriving at the court, I explored the area to the east first, managing to get a few loot chests. Can you come back over here, please? Thanks. No, let me open it for you. Oh, come on. I said hi to Liam too. Look at him. Ow, he thinks he's so cool. The treasure hoarders overall were still fairly easy pickings. It's just literally every other enemy in Fontaine. And then after this, I looped back around to the courthouse. My alternative idea for heading north was to go straight across this river here, since it does look like at one point in time there probably was a path. As you can see evidence of this throughout Fontaine, but I decided instead to go with this plan as it means I'll be touching the path from A to B. So I used this path here and jumped down. I then ran past these guys here and down onto this path. Now this must be a scene from a Ghibli movie. And I couldn't get this quest either since she's just a bit too far on the grass. What you looking at, huh? Now that is certainly something. There was also this water pump thing, which when I pressed it grew into a slime, and I just thought that was the funniest thing ever. A gear. What am I gonna do with a gear? I've not done this area, so I have no clue. Excuse me. Mum said it's my turn on the cooking spit. Aw, thanks for waiting your turn so patiently. I attempted to get this chest, but I didn't fancy dying to an abyss mage yet again. I managed to defeat this group of village elves though, so that's something. I also tried this time trial challenge. Yeah, there was no way I was getting that done in a minute. I even defeated a group of mechs, though that was the only group I could defeat. This is it. Everything we've done has been leading up to this moment. A few more steps, and we've made it. The highest point in the entire game. All by staying on the road, even if there were a few oopsies along the way. What? There's one more thing to do before we end all this off? The final challenge. The end boss of this run. Liyue. Not to defeat, I'm not sure that's even possible, but just to see how far we can get with what I've ended up with. This is how I got on with the artifacts. Now, let's do this.
Let's do this thing!
Hell yeah, let's go. Also, I used only the best foods for this fight. And well, I expected to last longer than I did, but this guy was just non-stop throwing out grenade after grenade, and I even stepped in a few piles that I could have easily avoided. That death though, I managed to hide right in the middle of all those grenades, but then he decided to throw one right on top of me. You win this time, Liam. But overall, I mean, I lasted 1 minute and 3 seconds, better than nothing. Now, I realise I didn't do every single thing possible, but think of it more as sightseeing. This journey, it was painful, but also a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed this journey as much as I did. So, we finished Fontaine with a chest count of 10, and after everything, we've ended up with 712 primo gems, minus compensation and rewards. Now, as for the answer to the question, can you play Genshin without leaving the road? Sure. Is it worth playing Genshin without leaving the road? No.